So Steph's been wanting to ask you about the David Crockett moment. So Steph, why don't you go ahead?
Oh yeah. So I watched it back, but then I also saw that David Crockett just recently talked about it with Conrad and Tony and kind of gave a little bit of his backstory that it kind of sounded like there was a little bit of heat between the two of you. Like you were like kind of frustrated with how much he was talking about you or gave you a hard time.
Well, somebody actually sent me a clip of that interview, right? And by the way, his description of running through the backyard as a kid at night and getting clotheslined by a clothesline was perfect. I mean, I'm like, that's it. That's the description right there. But when I heard him say that, I'm like, David, dude, what are you talking about? I don't remember that. He had heat with guys just because of his style and things he said, but I personally, I'm gonna when I sit down with them now, I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? Where did you make that up in your mind, or you just think somebody else tell you that, or what? Because that didn't come out of my mouth. I don't know, Stephanie, like for real, like why he had that perspective, or maybe I don't know, maybe because of the way I portrayed my own character. That maybe he just thought I hated him and everybody else too. I don't like for real don't know. So, but I did hear him say that. I remember watching. Go, David, what are you talking about? Eddie. So
all these years, he's held on to that you just really took it to him and
didn't like him. Yeah, like I had a distaste for him and took it out on him that night,
But so it was interesting hearing. So Tony had no idea. So it was very small group of people that actually knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah. And that was funny. That was the funny part too. When Schiavone's like, he's in the headset and he's like, when's this going to happen? When's this going to happen? He's like, when's what going to happen? What are they talking about? And 2 seconds later, it's like, bam, right? He's like, oh my gosh, is Crockett still alive? But the thing about that era, I feel anyway, it's like when I made the turn, and you guys may want to, I'm sure you might want to touch on that, but there was 3 people in that circle: Dusty Rhodes, Jim Crockett Jr., and Nikita Koloff. We told no one, not a soul until the night I walked into the babyface dressing room. Did they kind of an aha moment for them, nor did the heels over in the other end of the arena have any clue, and honestly, until I walked out to the ring. I was just going to say kayfabe, as it was called in the day, was very real, and we took that to heart, and this would just be one example of that.
I want to touch on the turn in a minute, but before we do, I want to go back to the David Crockett thing. And so I was rewatching it. I remember seeing it as a kid, but I was just rewatching it today to get ready for the interview. And you can ask Steph, I complain about this all the time. I'm into believability. And here's what made that moment believable. And it was not only what happened between you and David, but the way they shot it on TV. So if you go back and watch, you clothesline David, he goes down to the ground. The next shot is a wide shot of the crowd. And because you're doing the interview and there's a match getting ready to go in the ring, everybody kind of stands up like, what the hell was that? And looks to the right, like, because nobody knew what was going to happen. So I feel like if they stayed there on that shot, yes, it would have been as, big a moment. But the fact showing the crowd that everyone was so shocked that everyone at home was like, oh my God, like nobody knew what was going to happen there. That was really off script.
Right. And that, right. And that's part of the, and by the way, my philosophy, partly because Ivan and Don, and others had coached me old school mentality, old school philosophy. My mentality was when I went to the ring or anything like that I did, no matter what the fan might in the back of their mind think about wrestling, they're going to go like, that was real. Like, in fact, I can't tell you how many fans, guys, have said to me at autograph signings and everything else, they walked out of the arena on a night that I wrestled Magnum TA and would say this: I don't know about any of those other matches, but that match against Magnum and Nikita was real. Like, but that was my goal. That was my philosophy, and what I wanted to portray to all the fans was believability. And so there you are.